What's going on, everybody? It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, back with a new edition of the headlines. We got a lot to get into, so let's dive right in. I want to start off with the Grey Cup that is this Sunday. The Grey Cup is this Sunday between the Montreal Alouettes and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And look, I'm projecting this is going to be a very, very close game. Can Davis Alexander continue his winning streak? Can Trevor Harris get a Grey Cup as a starter? Saskatchewan is back at the dance since the first time back in around 2012, 2013. Well, the Alouettes are looking to do what the Argos did. 2 Grey Cups, 3 years. Will we be talking a Montreal Alouettes dynasty coming up? As an Argo fan, that hurts a little bit to say, but anything is possible. Look, I think this is going to be a very good game between two good teams. The only thing I do wonder a little bit with Davis Alexander never losing a start, he's got to lose at some point. And when he loses, could it be bad? Could it be like the Chad Kelly in the Eastern Final? And if that does happen, can Montreal find a way to stop the snowballing? Do we see McLeod Bethel-Thompson get in? Look, I hope neither backup quarterback gets in. No disrespect to Jake Mayer or MBT, but we want to see the best on best. And we definitely have it with this one. Keyshawn Johnson still has not been practicing, though, for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. You'll keep an eye out for that. They still may be missing their top receiver, but at least, you have guys like Schaefer Baker back into the lineup. And if you're looking for a more extensive preview on the Grey Cup, of course, we will do full preview on Sunday. We'll probably even come on Saturday, see how you're doing. I do find it interesting. Montreal is using some quotes that back from Cody Fajardo. It's F you, just watch, which is the quote that Fajardo used back when he was leading this team to a Grey Cup victory. Now, Cody Fajardo didn't seem upset about that whatsoever. I still think Fajardo and Montreal are on good terms, even though they decided to move on to Davis Alexander. But let's see. Sticking in the CFL, I do quickly want to mention that there are rumblings that Mike O'Shea may be named the Toronto Argonauts head coach after the Grey Cup. So more than likely either Sunday night heading into Monday. Hamilton did also ask permission to speak to him from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but I'm not sure if that has happened or not. But I do want to move on now to the Toronto Maple Leafs, or should I say the Toronto Maple Laughs, because man, this team has looked god awful of late. Another really rough game on Thursday night. They did manage to get a point, but I think they only got a point because of their AHL starting goalie, Dennis Hildeby, who I thought played very well. Yes, Austin Matthews isn't in the lineup. Yes, Chris Tanev isn't in the lineup. That's no excuse for lack of effort. And the second and third period in the overtime, this team got completely bulldozered. So was not happy with that effort whatsoever. If you want to hear an intense conversation about that, head on over to the social medias and YouTube, and we did a very long episode regarding that. But at the end of the day, I was not happy with the way the Leafs played that game. And to as far as I even said, I think potentially Craig Berube's job could be on the line right now. Like in all honesty, the team is not playing well. The team is not performing. They don't look cohesive. There's no structure. And if this struggles continue in through the end of November, they have a road trip coming up to end November. I could see Berube being fired by the end of that road trip if this team can't turn things around. And I'm not even talking about just winning games. I'm talking about actually playing well on the ice. Because the thing is, they've been losing winnable games, right? The last two, they only lost by 1 goal, but they're not playing well whatsoever. This team is just I thought they turned a corner, honestly, against Boston. That third period, even though they still lost the game, I thought they turned a corner. We saw some physicality. We saw some fighting. We saw some fight back. I thought maybe they had done it, but then they just rolled over and died again against the LA Kings on Thursday. So I don't know what to say here about the Leafs. It's not going to get any easier because on Saturday night, you're playing the Chicago Blackhawks in Chicago. But the Leafs are currently on a 4-game losing streak. The first time this has happened since 2019. First time this will happen under the Craig Berube era. You really don't want to see this get to 5 games. How I even said by the end of November, if you lose in Chicago and then lose to the Blues on Tuesday, lose to the Blue Jackets on Thursday, coming back home to face Montreal, you might see Berube gone potentially even before that game on the 22nd. Maybe I'm jumping the gun too much, but I just really don't feel this Leaf team has been playing well at all this season. Even the games that they're winning, they're not playing that well. So Look, time will tell. We'll have a lot more on the Leafs as the season continues, but I do want to move on to the NFL. And of course, we have NFL Sunday coming up, but let's quickly recap the Thursday night game between the Patriots and the Jets. Look, the New England Patriots are the real deal. They're now 9-2. Yeah, they beat the Jets 27-14. It's like, okay, you beat the Jets, whatever. But at the end of the day, they're winning games. Drake May is playing at a very high level, threw for, again, 281 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. And they're not even doing it with like a huge running game. That's all through the air between, especially this game, it was Drake May and Stephon Diggs were the two main guys that were really running the offense. New York Jets are really into some trouble. It's not, this season's a wash, obviously. I'm actually surprised Justin Fields is still getting the starts that he's getting, because I think they got to look in and see if they have anyone else in that locker room to try to figure out what else they can do. And of course, there's a bunch of games on Sunday. Got the Packers versus the Giants, new coach, new quarterback, as Winston's going to be getting the start. Let's see what the Giants can do in that one. Got the Texans versus the Titans. I mean, the Texans are really looking to try to at least get back to 500. Titans are only 1-8, so that's a game that you should be winning. You got the Panthers versus the Falcons. Falcons have been a real redemption arc this year. Bryce Young's actually looking pretty good. 5-5 club versus Atlanta that's 3-6, but I will say Atlanta can be a little sneaky. Bears and Vikings, really big game for both of those teams, as both of them are fighting for a playoff spot. Chargers and Jags, again, two teams really fighting for a playoff spot. I'm almost calling this must-win territory for the Buffalo Bills, because they got to keep pace with the New England Patriots. And to keep pace, you got to win, and they are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And look, the Bucs are a very good team at 6-3. The Bills are 6-3. I think Baker Mayfield's got a chance to win MVP this year, so time will tell on that. Then Bengals, Steelers, 49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks and Rams, Chiefs, Broncos, Ravens, Browns, and to wrap up Sunday, the Lions versus the Eagles for the nightcap. Should be a hell of a game on Sunday night. Then Monday, we got the Cowboys versus the Raiders. I'm going to say this for the Cowboys. I think if they don't win this game, you may as well just kiss your playoff hopes goodbye. I've not been impressed with this Dallas Cowboy team whatsoever this season, and they're just not looking any better in my opinion. But to the CFL Awards, and I do want to talk about Mr. Nathan Rourke, who did double dip in the awards, putting up most outstanding player and most outstanding Canadian. Very awesome for him. Last quarterback to do that was Russ Jackson. Last Canadian to do this was Brady Oliveira. Rourke, as you can see on your screen, had a very impressive season with 5,290 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, only 16 interceptions. Also ran for 564 yards, 10 TDs. So you got to think it's 41 total touchdowns. And the biggest number there is his record as a starter, going 11-5. So at the end of the day, you really got to feel like Nathan Rourke, whether you like the guy or not. I have been somewhat vocal that I'm not the biggest Nathan Rourke fan. He certainly deserved the MOP and the MLC, because he has really played at a very, very high level this season. Just so you guys are aware, over the weekend, we will also put out our overall awards, and those awards will include all the awards in the CFL and, of course, maybe some of our own awards. I'm thinking top running back, best defensive back. I want to get a little creative. Going into some of the awards here, not really too many surprises with Nathan Rourke double dipping those chicken nuggets, getting the MOP and the MOC. Matthew Betts, most outstanding defensive player. Hardrick getting best offensive lineman. Valvo getting most outstanding special teams player. I really thought that Liram Hawallahu had a strong shot of getting that one, but at the end of the day, what Valvo did this year was incredible. Also wins Rookie of the Year. And, of course, the Tom Pett Memorial Award to Andrew Prison and the Veterans Award to Logan Freeland. But, again, at the end of the day, look, it's a lot of great awards that came out in the CFL Awards show. And if you're looking to watch that full award show, it is up on the CFL website. And that's all we have to cover today for the headlines. I like to try to keep it around that 10, 11-minute mark. So thank you very much for watching the headlines. And of course, we will be back with so much CFL, Grey Cup preview, and we got more Leafs talk we got to do. We got to go over overall CFL awards. We got to talk about the coaching carousel going on in the Canadian Football League. So if you're missing me, don't you worry. I'll be back with Mr. Lane Dashing Dashko and Mr. More for your money, and hopefully some special guests very, very soon. And one other quick reminder, we are planning on launching some merch very, very soon. Here's a preview of what some of the merch is going to look like with the golf shirts and the hats. These are just some rough samples. We'll be working these out. Let me know what you think of these in the comment section. And thank you very much for watching the Analyst Desk, the headlines, where every day feels like game day. We'll see you on the weekend for some Grey Cup previews and so much more. Bye.